Hey there, everybody. It's me, Kay, and if I sound exasperated, there's a reason for that. So see, there's no. Well, I'll just go into the start of it. Uh, do you have a refrigerator? Is there a refrigerator in your house? If so, you might have a fancy refrigerator that has water in the door, like water that dispenses from the door, so you don't have to open it to get water. We do, or we did. And sometimes sometimes that water line isn't the most secure, and sometimes it leaks. Sometimes it leaks a lot and you notice, sometimes it leaks very little and you don't notice. We also had a freezer in that unit, but the freezer wasn't very good and the seal on it wasn't super good, so we didn't use it. We got a deep freeze chest instead, and we used that, and it's very nice. Now, this refrigerator is kind of a piece of shit, and it's been falling apart piecemeal for years now. I think like year two, it lost the ice in the door, like the motor for that just died, and we never got around fixing it because it just wasn't worth the trouble. The freezer, of course, was always bad. The water stopped working right. All it did was keep food cold in the fridge part. But turns out that there was a little leak in the water line, and somehow that water was getting down to the freezer part, right? So over a very long period of time, that water was slowly dripping in there and just doing what water do in a freezer. And the other day, I went to go get something from the fridge, and I stepped in water, and I thought, well, that's not good. What's going on? So there's water coming out of the freezer door, and I look, and I see that the temperature of the freezer is like 38 degrees now, and the fridge is raising in temperature rapidly because the compressor is blown out. And I'm like, what in the world has blown the compressor out of the fridge? This is very bad. I'm going to open the freezer and investigate. So I opened the freezer. Well, I didn't open the freezer, more specifically because I couldn't. I pulled as hard as I could, and I couldn't open the freezer. Nori and I had to work together, and we couldn't open the freezer. I thought, oh no, something very bad has happened in here. I have a very bad feeling about this freezer. So we had to get a space heater out and put it against the side of the freezer unit to warm up the sides of it, and then we pulled it open, and we found this. That is ice, if you did not know. That is big 100+ pound block of ice. My hand is there for scale. It's about 1.5 feet thick, and it's now going to ruin our floors if we don't remove it. Unfortunately, we can't remove it because it weighs probably a good bit more than 100 pounds, and it's frozen to the sides of that basket. So what happened was Nori helped me too with this, but it was me for a long time there because he was very occupied with other things that had to be done. I had to take a hammer and a screwdriver and beat this screwdriver into this chunk of ice until pieces broke out, and then I could remove them by hand. This took hours. I had bronchitis while I was doing this, but it couldn't be stopped. Like, it had to be done, because if we didn't do it, we were going to ruin our nice wood floor there. Our fake wood floor just wouldn't have done well with water soaking into all the little gaps in it. So we had to do that, and then there were a couple days where we just didn't have a refrigerator, so that wasn't very nice. And it took me a lot of time to recover the muscle pain from doing all that, because let me tell you what, that's not easy on your muscles. And I also, like I said, had bronchitis at the time, so that was very tiring, and it took a while to get over that. So I just ain't got no videos this week. I just don't. I'm sorry. There was no time in which I could record, and I wasn't well enough to record, frankly. So no sick plays, no nothing. I got nothing for you. I'll be back in early March with regular content. I'm going to start recording right after I finish this news message to all of you dear viewers. Sorry, but ice happened. That's let that be a lesson to all of you. Don't have water in your life. Just keep water away from you. You don't need it. You don't want it. Water is the devil's drink. I will see all of you next week with some regular content and a nice surprise to hopefully make up for the week out. Thank you all, as always, and goodbye for now, everyone.